Hi, I'm Michelle Smith, and I want to tell you why I flipped my classroom. I have a saying in my classroom: here is where you are, and here's where you need to be. Well, this is where I was. I am the teacher in the front of the classroom. I have multiple students that I'm trying to teach. I have some students that are struggling. The ones in the front are always on task. I have a group that is bored. And then I have those groups that simply are not listening. Where I was required that I had delivery in class of the content with interruptions. I have 6 classes, 51 minutes each, and an average of 26 students in each class. I needed to deliver this content to all of those students multiple times during the day, but I only have 51 minutes. I recognize that I'm not reaching all of my students. I am teaching to the middle group. I'm trying to keep these kids paying attention, and I'm teaching to the group that's on task. My students are passive and they're compliant. They want to please me, but they don't understand why they need to know the material. The application, if it happens at all, is at home. I assign homework problems, or I give them projects to do outside of class. There is teacher and student stress because these students go home not understanding the material, and they're asked to do an assignment that they can't do without understanding the content. I'm stressed because I know that I have students that are not having their needs met in my class, and I simply don't have the time to do what I want to do for each student. This is where I want to be. I want to be in the center of the classroom with all of my students working on assignments according to their level. I want those students that weren't listening to be on task with the ones that were already sitting in the front. And I want those students that were struggling to have supported learning, and I want to be able to check on them when they need me. And I want those students that are bored to be challenged. I don't want them to have to wait for the rest of the class to go on with their material. Flipping the classroom allows me to meet the needs of my students. I'm able to record my content once, much like I'm doing right now as I talk with you. But the students can listen to that material multiple ways. They can have internet access to it through YouTube or my website, or they can download it to a flash drive or burn it to a DVD. Differentiation can happen in my classroom now because the content has been received outside of the classroom. I'm able to now use that 51 minutes of class time to put the kids into groups according to their ability based on formative assessment. And I am able to give each group a set of tasks that is appropriate to their level. And when they're finished with their task, they don't have to wait for the other groups before they move on. I have active and engaged students. And the more I go into the process, the more I see that this is a naturally motivating format for the students because they're depending on one another for their learning. It requires more responsibility of the students. Application is happening in the classroom. The students do not need me to read the PowerPoints to them. My 51 minutes is better spent helping them with the problems that they need solved with the application, or helping them with a project that the entire group is working on, or investigating with labs the content, going deeper with the concept. Now I am a guide, a monitor, I challenge my students, and I provide feedback and praise. I'm able to visit each of the tables and check on the learning that's happening at each one. By monitoring the class, I can keep them on task, and I can also make sure that there's no misconceptions that are being learned. If you want to flip your classroom, I recommend that you go to fridayinstitute.ncsu.edu/phys.